We learned from neighbors in Nelson County the FBI and Kentucky State Police spent the last 3 days searching a property in connection with one of the 3 unsolved murders in Bardstown. Our Shane McAllister and photojournalist Jessica Farley were there.
Another massive dig in Nelson County with ties to at least one of the high-profile unsolved cases that have gripped the Commonwealth. From the WHAS11 drone, you can see the hole where FBI and Kentucky State Police have focused their efforts. Heavy excavation equipment brought in to move mounds of dirt and debris within a wooded area off of a rural road. Special Prosecutor Shane Young confirms his office initiated the search in connection to one of 3 cases. Ambush police officer Jason Ellis, missing mother of 5 Crystal Rogers, or her father, Tommy Ballard, killed while hunting. Till Ballard, Tommy's father, and Crystal's grandfather rushed to the site of the search as soon as he got the news. He told us his heart believes they're looking for Crystal.
I believe it has to be Crystal's remains because Jason Ellis, they buried him and we buried Tommy, so she's the only one in Nelson County that's left.
Authorities kept this dig under the radar for days. Neighbors say they first spotted police vehicles and construction equipment on site 3 days ago on Monday morning. Neighbors also shared investigators were focused on not 1, but 2 properties across the street from each other here on Thompson Hill Road. The Ballard family says the properties are unfamiliar to them, but they're holding out hope investigators are able to make an important connection.
I just hope the day comes that we can get her remains and bury her, and everybody involved in this pay for it the rest of their lives.
A sense of justice seemingly one step closer after another search in Nelson County. In Nelson County, I'm Shane McAllister, WHAS11 on your side.
We spoke to both the Ballard and Ellis families regarding these new developments. They said they are just holding on to hope that whatever is uncovered this week moves their families' cases forward. A first-of-its-kind education program is coming to Bellarmine University. It's now offering a certification that allows students to study the marijuana industry. The classes are non-credit classes, but you do get a certificate at the end. There are 4 courses: cannabis business, agriculture and cultivation, compliance and risk management, and then healthcare and medicine. The university believes once medical marijuana is legal here in the state in 2025, the number of cannabis-related jobs will soar. The classes are up for registration right now and begin in January. Kentucky's top Republican lawmakers say safety and education in Louisville are their top priorities for the year ahead. This was the focus of last night's bipartisan panel hosted by Greater Louisville Inc. Our Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie tell us how those lawmakers plan to work with Democratic Mayor Craig Greenberg to make these changes.
An encouraging scene as 2 of the top Republican state representatives from the Louisville area voiced their willingness to work with Democratic Mayor Craig Greenberg in the 2024 legislative session. House Minority Whip Jason Nemes of Middletown.
Look, I didn't vote for him. If he lived in my district, he wouldn't have voted for me. Okay, so what? Now what? Let's get to work.
And the Speaker of the House, David Osborne of Prospect.
The fact of the matter is he leads a city that we all love, and there is nothing good that can come of anything short of success of this mayor.
There's one thing tying them all together.
Public safety is, and I think that is an area that we all definitely agree on the goals. It might be, candidly speaking, the area where we might have some of the biggest policy disagreements on how to achieve those goals, but we've acknowledged those and we move on.
Crime is going up all across the Commonwealth of Kentucky, obviously with Louisville leading the way, especially young Louisvillians.
Earlier this year, Greenberg outlined his 2024 legislative priorities, including $250 million for improvements across the city. He's
come up with some pretty bold requests. And so we'll do the best we can do to meet a lot of those requests. We don't support all the requests that he's made, but we support a number of them.
Bottom line for local and state lawmakers: make Louisville a better place to build businesses and to raise a family. Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
Other priorities addressed included affordable housing, local tax reform, and looking at how to improve the city-county merger. A woman and her 2 cats escaped a house fire in New Albany this morning. Firefighters responded to that call just after 5 on Charter Street and were able to contain that fire to the house despite another home being just about 5 feet away. The chief telling us that neighbor's house didn't get so much as a scorch. Firefighters do not suspect anything suspicious. A new report indicates Kentucky's tornado relief sent out about $239,000 in mistaken payments. That fund consisted of private donations to help the lives changed by the devastating 2021 Kentucky the Western Kentucky tornadoes there. That review was conducted by State Auditor Mike Harmon after requests from lawmakers back in July. And that review found the mistaken payments represented just a 0.57% error rate. The auditor found the payments included duplicates, payments sent to people that were ineligible, as well as overpayments. A separate report by the Finance and Administration Cabinet found the funds were managed properly, and the auditors also looked into the flood relief fund too for the Eastern Kentucky disaster back in 2022, but found nothing wrong. Well, families today are figuring out what their next steps might be as JCPS considers cutting routes to accommodate their bus driver shortage. Our Ian Hardwitt spoke with a parent who's been driving their kids home from school and another who says that's not an option.
JCPS is considering canceling bus routes because they don't have enough drivers to get kids home by their goal of 6:30 p.m. Cutting routes to magnet and traditional schools would reduce the number of buses required by about 100.
Any plan to put the magnet programs behind what's an explicit paywall means that kids that don't have means can't go to the magnet programs, which everybody knows are the best schools in Jefferson County.
J.P. Lininger's daughter goes to a magnet school. The bus takes her in the morning, but Lininger picks her up because of how late the bus runs. Because he works from home, he has that flexibility, but it's not an option every family has.
My really big concern is if I cannot leave my job at the hospital and provide transportation, because some of us have 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts. Do I have to now change my son's high school?
Lori Minnick's son, an 8th grader, goes to a traditional school. It's the social and academic experience she chose for her children and what influenced her to live in Louisville over Bullitt County. While the question of where her son goes next lingers, the district still has to try and retain drivers. They are projected to lose another 50 by August 2024. One of the drivers' main complaints has been student behavior. At Tuesday night's board meeting, Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio said he would reiterate to all principals the need to respond to every behavior referral. That's also when he called the old system antiquated.
Many times our schools were getting referrals that might be a couple weeks old. That is difficult as a school to deal with. And then sometimes, yes, they just weren't addressing the situation like they should have.
The new procedure rolled out in November, but as for the overall transportation problem, it's one both Minnick
I blame our legislature in Frankfort
and Lininger put on the state because they
failed to meet the funding requirements for transportation for students in Jefferson County, and we're seeing the consequences to that.
In Louisville, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS11 on your side.
The JCPS board has requested an audit of the transportation system from the superintendent's office. Board member Linda Duncan told us over the phone she and Bus Drivers Union President John Stovall have been interviewed as part of that report. She expects it to be completed by early next year. Right now, Metro Police are trying to track down the thieves they say stole hundreds of dollars in laundry detergent. Police believe the woman you see in these photos stole liquid detergent from the Lowe's off Preston Highway. 4,500 ounces of it was taken. That totals about $900. If you know anything, you're asked to call the anonymous tip line at 574 LMPD.